threats, the agencies only have to slip up once for an incident to take place. So first of all, let's applaud our agencies, let's support our agencies. Dr. Ojha, I'm coming to you as well. What did you make of this entire plot? Via Turkey, to Russia, then India, and you know, there is a sense that is emerging that this whole Prophet row has increased the threat over India. If it hadn't, if the threat didn't exist already, now it is much heightened.
Three things I would say. Firstly, these terror organizations are also constantly innovating upon their methods and strategies at one level, I would say. And whenever they carry out an attack like this, they want to do it in a highly deniable manner. So that's why they have chosen Russia as a destination, as previous panelists also pointed it out, that suspicion levels will be very low and this element of deniability will be very high. But let me tell you one more thing, ma'am, that as far as Turkey is concerned, not me, very large number of Arab journalists have been pointing it out, that good amount of these Al-Qaeda, even ISIS remnants, they have been spotted in Istanbul. Turkish intelligence has been cultivating them. They have been providing some kind of safe and sanctuary for them. And this is where it is quite worrying that notwithstanding Turkey's outward support to Russia or whatever, there is a Chinese patronage to Turkey, and Turkey is trying to use terror as a kind of strategic tool, some of these terror organizations. Of course, ISIS or some organization like this cannot be entirely controlled by whosoever is their mentor, but there's a very strong apprehension at this point of time that Turkish president, under his leadership, his intelligence is trying to build these remnants as a kind of strategic tool. And we know the kind of relationship they share with Pakistan and their ultimate agenda. So we have to be extremely careful. Now you mentioned about this row over for-profit controversy. I think these elements are constantly looking for opportunities, you know, to justify a terror attack like this. Even if this row was not there, they would. And what is my most worrying aspect is that, you know, a massive infrastructure, covered infrastructure for radicalism, organized crime, and terrorism, which has been continuing. Because propaganda is a very critical part of this terror design, you can say. A good number of these NGOs, so-called mouthpieces who have been criticizing government, that is, they could be, I would say, some kind of passive approvers or active collaborators of terror in this manner. And whatever we are doing, I think we also need to change our strategy. We cannot have the same strategy which Israel has or United States has. And this is why I've written last year that why do we need a very indigenous strategy to handle these things? This strategy has to be low cost and highly effective.
But sir, so how do you tackle radicalization of this kind, which is happening over Telegram, which is happening over WhatsApp or over the internet? How do you tackle it?
Definitely, we cannot, state alone cannot tackle it. That is why we need partnership with some of our civil society groups, including Devband, etc. We have to persuade them, you cannot carry out something like this. We have to get down to communities and then check it. And of course, counter-terror agencies, they have a role, but their role is very tactical in nature. If something is about to happen, you identify, detect, and preempt. And as you said, this is not a healthy situation that, you know, security agencies are under pressure all the time. They are worried. Yes, you know, they can't be kept under duress permanently.
Yes, and that religion is used as some sort of a defense, you know, like if Islamist terrorists are getting nabbed, then somehow it is considered Islamophobic or anti-Muslim. No, it's not. I don't think that Muslims benefit from Islamic terror at all. In fact, they suffer the most when Islamic terror strikes are carried out. Doctor, I'm coming back to you, Zygon. Is that this Prophet Rao, if the attack on Salman Rushdie has proved anything, is that, you know, the people who are motivated to avenge any insult to the Prophet, they will do it even 20, 30, 40 years later. That's what the attack on Salman Rushdie is all about. And you know, what we need to do perhaps is to go to the heart of this problem itself, that avenging a prophet or a god's honor involves bloodshed. People who support that, even tacitly, communities who support that, they have to be isolated.
Yes, exactly. You're absolutely right, saying that we have to look at the core of the problem, at the very heart of this problem. Otherwise, the more our world is becoming divided, and practically we are witnessing this kind of testimonies of the unprecedented uncertainty, disbalance, division, tension, geopolitical rivalry, etc. So it's no wonder that in the context of the current conditions on a global scene, when the whole world system is collapsing, so we can't say that this or another part of the world, this or another power center is Russia, India, China, United States, Europe, etc., that they're ready to look at the core of the problem. This is the issue. There is a great decline of understanding what democracy is all about and how to address, to challenge, to meet those challenges and threats in the world. Right. That's why I think there is only one way to step a few, let's say, to make few steps away from the so-called soft power, hard power, contextual power, etc., and to look at these issues from the point of collaboration, coexistence, co-thinking, co-acting, etc.
Okay.
I think
I'm running out of time, ma'am. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. Pathikrit, I'll give you 30 seconds. We have to strike at the core, the heart of the problem, which is radicalization fueled by this whole blasphemy concept. It cannot be tolerated.
Yeah.
I think we need...
Shivani,
Pathikrit,
first
yes.
of all, nobody becomes a terrorist in one day. Somebody has to be groomed with fundamentalist education for a long period of time, then radicalized, and some among those who are radicalized, some pick up the guns. The others become overground workers. So number one, we need to strike at the root of these madrasas which have proliferated in a large number. There are thousands of unregistered madrasas. Nobody knows who comes from which country to actually preach over there. Between 2011 to 2013, 25,000 Wahhabis came from Saudi Arabia and other Middle East countries to preach in India. Number two, I don't know what is the purpose of keeping an open border with Nepal that has been exploited to the hilt. First by the ISI, now the demographic shift from Bangladesh is happening via Nepal, and now tomorrow it will be used by ISIS as well.
Okay. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. Pathikrit, I take your point. All our guests, thanks a lot for joining us. We will look to do a larger debate on this issue and what India needs to do, because this challenge is extremely grave for us. Time for a